Hi, everybody. Denver Riggleman here, former congressman from Virginia, former senior technical advisor for the January 6th committee. And I hope you're having a great day. This is the 3 year anniversary of January 6th. And I know a lot of people have very strong emotions about it. So I thought it would be a timely reminder and appropriate to read all of the text messages between Ginni Thomas and Mark Meadows. Now, when I first found these text messages, or our team found these text messages, I call them the Bourbon Texts. So now I've already drank some of this, but I do have some bourbon with me. It's very good, and it is our bourbon. But I wanted to go through these text messages as a reminder to what happened during those days between November 3rd and January 6th. I also think it's a window into the future and how belief systems can inundate and saturate a party all the way up to the top, which should be very disturbing. So I'm going to get right to it. These text messages are from November 5th, 2020 to January 10th, 2021. I will read them in their entirety, and it's exactly as they're written, except for asides where there's YouTube links or there is also one forwarded text message. So I'm going to get right to it. I hope you can settle in and listen. Shouldn't take too long, but I hope that you absorb these words and what happened during those days. So here we go. November 5th, 2020, Ginni Thomas to Mark Meadows. I hope this is true. Never heard anything like this before, or even a hint of it. Possible? Trump sting with CIA Director Steve Pieczenik, the biggest election story in history. QFS blockchain 7-minute video. Dr. Steve Pieczenik's info, who has very good intel contacts. Thursday, 5 November interview. YouTube link is attached. The QFS blockchain watermarked ballots in over 12 states have been part of a huge Trump and military white hat sting operation in 12 key battleground states where 20,000 plus National Guard were deployed. The Biden crime family and ballot fraud co-conspirators, elected officials, bureaucrats, social media censorship monitors, fake stream media reporters, etc., are being arrested and detained for ballot fraud right now and over coming days, and will be living in barges off Gitmo to face military tribunals for sedition. November 6th, 2020, Ginni Thomas to Mark Meadows. Do not concede. It takes time for the army who is gathering for his back. November 10th, 2020, Ginni Thomas to Mark Meadows. Mark, I wanted to text you and tell you for days you are in my prayers. I hear from Nancy Schultz you're working, though. Listen to Rush, Mark Stein, Bongino, Cleta, and know the grassroots wants truth to prevail over lies. Help this great president stand firm, Mark. The left tastes the power. You are the leader with him, who is standing for America's constitutional governance at the precipice. The majority knows Biden, and the left is attempting the greatest heist of our history. November 10th, 2020, Mark Meadows to Ginni Thomas. I will stand firm. We will fight until there is no fight left. Our country is too precious to give up on. Thanks for all you do. November 10th, 2020, Ginni to Mark Meadows. Tearing up and praying for you guys. So proud to know you. November 10th, 2020, Ginni Thomas to Mark Meadows. Van Jones spins interestingly, but shows us the balls being juggled too. House and Senate guys are pathetic too. Only 4 House GOP House members seen out in street rallies with grassroots: Gomer, Jordan, Gosar, and Roy. Where the heck are all those who benefited from President's coattails? Watch this, though, if you haven't already. Attached is the Van Jones interview she is referring to. It is such a messaging war game / information warfare being played to keep the truth from coming out. A heist. November 13th, 2020, Ginni Thomas to Mark Meadows. Just forwarded to your Gmail an email I sent Jared this AM. Sidney Powell and improved coordination now will help the cavalry come and fraud exposed and America saved. Don't let her and your assets be marginalized. Instead, help her be the lead and the face. November 14th, 2020, Ginni Thomas to Mark Meadows. The most important thing you can realize right now is that there are no rules in war. You destroy your enemy's ability to fight. This is what is happening right now. The war is psychological, psyop. It's what I did in the military. They're using every weapon they have to try to make us quit, to give up on our system of government and processes. They try to break our will to fight through demoralization, discouragement, division, chaos, and gaslighting. It is fake fraud, and if people would take a deep breath and look at things through that filter, we will see this through and win. The Constitution is on our side, and it is worth fighting for. I believe in it. Our founders and even those facing Omaha Beach have done much more than we have since Election Day. I would suggest we all think in those terms, because if we don't, and we allow this massive fraud to stand, we've lost our country anyway. Connie Hare, November 13th. This was a forwarded text from Connie Hare to Ginni and then to Mark. November 19th, 2020, from Ginni to Mark Meadows. Mark, don't want to wake you. The intense pressures you and our president are now experiencing are more intense than anything experienced. But I only felt a fraction of it in 1991. At stake, truth, evidence, facts in America, or will lies win? I know you all are feeling an unbelievable negative intensity if you drink in media or weak people/messages. Look at a calendar and set out the plan for getting truth. Evidence out by dates certain. Sounds like Sydney and her team are getting inundated with evidence of fraud. Make a plan. Release the Kraken and save us from the left taking America down. Suggestion: you need to buck up your team on the inside, Mark. The lower level insiders are scared, fearful. We're sending out signals of hopelessness versus an awareness of the existential threat to America right now. You can buck them, strengthen their spirits. Monica Crowley may have a sense of this from her Nixon days. Northern Virginia deplorables and others seem to be planning pop-up spontaneous sign wavings this AM for Stop the Steal. Help the communicators share these kinds of messages. Video below as you guys garner truth and evidence. YouTube video attached. Americans are praying for you all. Feel that and be the leaders God have made you into for this time. Ginni, you guys fold. The evil just moves fast down underneath you all. Lots of intensifying threats coming to ACB and others. So honor and respect you for helping this amazing president stand for all of us. This is spiritual warfare, as you must feel, Mark. It is about America continuing in this lonely leader and man. November 19th, 2020, Mark Meadows to Ginni Thomas. Thanks so much. November 19th, 2020, Ginni Thomas to Mark Meadows. Loved. Thanks so much. November 19th, 2020, Ginni Thomas to Mark Meadows. Tears are flowing at what Rudy is doing right now. November 19th, 2020, Ginni Thomas to Mark Meadows. Emphasized, glad to help. November 19th, 2020, Ginni Thomas to Mark Meadows. Whoa! Heroes! November 19th, 2020, Mark Meadows to Ginni Thomas. Glad to help. November 22nd, 2020, Ginni Thomas to Mark Meadows. Trying to understand the Sidney Powell distancing. November 22nd, 2020, Ginni Thomas to Mark Meadows. Wow! November 22nd, 2020, Mark Meadows to Virginia Thomas. She doesn't have anything, or at least she won't share it if she does. November 24th, 2020, Ginni Thomas to Mark Meadows. A video from Parler. As an aside, I've seen this video. You should watch it too. All of you. November 24th, 2020, Ginni Thomas to Mark Meadows. If you all cave to the elites, you have to know that many of your 73 million feel like what Glenn is expressing, me included. I think I'm done with politics, and I don't think I'm alone, Mark. November 24th, 2020, Mark Meadows to Ginni Thomas. I don't know what you mean by caving to elites. November 24th, 2020, Ginni Thomas to Mark Meadows. Sorry, my phone was across a few rooms. I can't see Americans swallowing the obvious fraud. Just going with one more thing with no freaking consequences. The whole coup, and now this. We just caved to people wanting Biden to be anointed. Many of us can't continue the GOP charade. November 24th, 2020, Mark Meadows to Virginia Thomas. I didn't view the clip. What it is about. What is it about? November 24th, 2020, Ginni Thomas to Mark Meadows. It's just him being fed up that they're never, it's just him being fed up at their never bring consequences to all the hard work of showing progressive or D lies. November 24th, 2020, Ginni Thomas to, actually, this one, November 24th, 2020, is Mark Meadows to Ginni Thomas. You're preaching to the choir, very demoralizing. November 24th, 2020, Ginni Thomas to Mark Meadows. The fracturing now, the stabbing in the back of anyone daring to still say there seemed to be fraud. All the R's congratulating Biden. His loyalists can't take this. It is so evil. Thank you for being in my choir. Then, too, if this doesn't turn, I am literally done with politics, and that's all I've done since my 20s. People hate the GOP, or it's growing. November 24th, 2020, Mark Meadows to Ginni Thomas. This is a fight of good versus evil. Evil always looks like the victor until the King of Kings triumphs. Do not grow weary in well-doing. The fight continues. I've staked my career on it. Well, at least my time in DC on it. November 24th, 2020, Ginni Thomas to Mark Meadows. Thank you. Needed that. This plus a conversation with my best friend just now. I will try to keep holding on. America is worth it, but this rotten GOP, just like Fox and the NFL, they are whistling past the graveyard if they think proceeding independent of DJT will work out. America has been educated and people want real leaders, not fake ones. If globalists win and there's no truth either, I don't get the next play. January 10th, 2021, Ginni Thomas to Mark Meadows. I still adamantly, the president and you, friend, we are living through what it feels like the end of America. Most of us are disgusted with the VP and are in a listening mode to see where to fight with our teams. Those who attack the Capitol are not representative of our great teams of patriots for DJT. Amazing times, the end of liberty. Hope that helps everyone. Hope you listen. Go look them up. These texts are out there. There's a lot out there that's been released, especially on the background. Ginni Thomas and Mark Meadows and what they're going through today. If you want to do a much deeper dive on January 6th and the relationship between Ginni Thomas and Mark Meadows, please check out my book, The Breach, The Untold Story of January 6th.